I'm hiding. I am a COVID hot mess
Oh,
right now.
you don't want to, okay, that's fine, that's fine. So it's intentional. Okay, that's fine.
It's so intentional.
I thought it was a technological, God knows I have challenges in that area myself. So I thought maybe you were experiencing the same thing, but that's
Oh,
fine.
I have my challenges. They just start
Yeah.
with C and end with 19.
Is that, yeah, really? When did you learn that you had it?
I got my official test results last week, my husband and I. My son just tested positive yesterday, and my mother should be in today.
So you're all quarantining, obviously.
Oh, we're quarantining like the best of them.
Well, you look okay. So I mean, let's keep up crossed and at least you're not you're not gone to the next step of having to be hospitalized, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and hopefully that stays to be the case.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, so have at it, Mayor. It's all
Okay.
balls in your hand.
Yeah, I don't know when you have these kinds of meetings with other mayors, or even if you're outside the North Central Mass and you talk about what's going on in particular cities and communities. I don't know. I don't have a heck of a lot to compare it to, but when I start talking about what's going on in Fitchburg, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of projects in the pipeline. And again, I don't know if this is commonplace for other communities. I like to think that we're a little exceptional in that area because of all the hard work that we've done, the great partnerships we've created with the state. The lieutenant governor and I served together in the legislature, so we've known each other for better than 10 years. And she has been, and the governor have been just terrific with helping the city, not just through COVID, but our economic development efforts that are in that pipeline coming to fruition. And what I tell people, interestingly enough, some of the projects we've got in the works, you'd think would have been adversely impacted by COVID, but I'm happy to report it hasn't really had that much of an impact on slowing things down. So we're thrilled about that. We've got the Main and Boulder Drive project. We're going back to two-way traffic east and west on Main Street to what it was back. I don't know if there are any folks out there that are my age group, but remember back in the 60s is when the change occurred and it went to one way going in the northerly direction. We're going back to the old way, two ways, and the intent is to slow things down, make people take notice of where they are, make it a little bit more walkable, and then we're doing the same thing on Boulder Drive. So we're trying to kind of a course correction on people using Main Street as a way to get to somewhere else. We want that to be a destination, and we understand a number of challenges there. We've got far too many vacant properties on Main Street, but some of the things I'm going to talk about now are going to really impact on that. And that's our intent, is to get people downtown, get them on Main Street, get them in the city. The Fitchburg Arts Community Project, just as a starting point, across from the Fitchburg Art Museum. And that's a space for artists and people who create things. And it's a live, work, and play space in the old, and we're trying to get away from this. That's why we're calling it the Fitchburg Arts Community, getting away from calling it the B.F. Brown School. But for some of the old timers like me, that's what it was. So we're thrilled about that. That's looking like 67 units of mixed income artist preference housing with studio spaces for live work environment that many seek. We've gone through insurance settlement with the big fire that happened several years ago, and that was a $1 million price tag. Second, the zoning changes that have made it necessary to that happened last fall, and we also went through an Article 97 process at the State House and the legislature, and what we used to call on the floor of the House, it was a land taking. So we've had that piece of our of that puzzle there working. I'd like them to start a little sooner than what they are, but it looks like 2022, and that's New View. You know, all our good friend Mark Doan and his folks at New View are heading that up. So that's important. That's going to put people there, 67 units. That's pretty impressive. And it combines the school building, the annex up on the hill, and the not livery, but it was the old stables, and that's where they used to keep the horse. I don't know what for, but this is back before the turn of the century. So that's also going to be transformed into housing as well. So, and I say this when I speak publicly, it's probably overused, but it is going to be a transformative project, not just for the city, but even more importantly for the neighborhood itself. It's going to change that entire neighborhood, and we're thrilled about that. Let's see, I'm looking, I have a cheat sheet because I got so many things going on. The Harper Furniture Building on the other end of Main Street, down by Morin Square. That is due to start in the spring of 21, and that's going to be, I believe, 48 units, along with the old 1889 fire station. That's going to be housing as well, and there'll be a parking deck in between. So that we're looking at in the spring of 21, coming up. They'll be breaking ground there. Let's see. Crescent Street Townhouses with the Pelletier organization. That is, we'll be building 7 townhouse-style apartments on Blossom and Crescent. Do you folks know where I'm talking about? The old Rogers on the square, take a right there on the left. It's been a vacant lot for many, many years. The Pelletiers worked with the city on an HDIP tax credit and a local tax increment financing, and construction has begun on that project as we speak. We've got certainly Gateway Apartments. Phase 1 has been approved by the planning board and includes 95 parking spaces. Phase 2 is in the works, and they're still looking at 150 units. This will be going in front of the planning board this coming up now this winter. And optimistically, the developers will start, we hope to start construction in the summer coming up in 21. Of course, we can't forget the theater block. Has been, the schematic designs have been completed. Construction manager at risk was selected in April and is currently on board performing investigative work within the theater itself. Now, we know about that theater. That was in its heyday. I think it had a 15 or 1600 seat capacity. It will be less because of restrictions, because of accessibility and things like that, but it's still going to be in the range of 1,200 to 1,300 seats. It'll be a performing arts center that will tie in with the community, but certainly, of course, the Fitchburg State University family as well. That's happening. That entire block now is owned by Fitchburg State University, right to the bank on the corner. And they'll be making good use of that. The former bank is now being incorporated into the design of the theater and has allowed the designs to increase lobby space, which is critical in the marketability of that space and the project. They are working with Walsh Brothers as the construction at risk firm, and they aim to begin work in 2022. And also, not the least of which, something you might have noticed, is City Hall across the street. 718 Main Street will once again be the seat of government for the city of Fitchburg, long overdue. $24 million project, on budget, on time. We look to be in there on December 14th is when we start our move over to the new City Hall, along with the legislative building, which is the old Bank of America next door. That's where City Council meetings will be held, and public gatherings, public events of whatever sort at the time. So we're thrilled about that as well. Let me see, Game On Fitchburg, the soccer complex up in West Fitchburg. In the course of renting out space, Fitchburg High School uses it for soccer, lacrosse, and other activities. They're doing well up there. Been a little bit of a hiccup with COVID recently, but they're doing well. And there's been quite an interest, not just certainly from Fitchburg people, but from people outside of the community as well. And their location right there, right off of Route 2, is appealing as well. Talk about the rail trail going from Fitchburg behind Market Basket into the center of Leominster. It's a 4.5-mile route, and we're hoping for big things there. Certainly Mayor Mazzarella, because he's been around, God, I think we were riding in chariots then when he was when he became mayor. He was really at the forefront of raising this project and making it, getting it to where it is today. And we offer our sincerest thanks to him. Short amount of area is in Fitchburg. The majority is Leominster, but it's going to be another amenity, another attraction to bring people to Fitchburg, and Leominster for that matter. I think they wanted me to touch on the school situation, our schools. We have total in our school system of 5,300 students that attend 8 schools, including 2 high schools. We have Chromebooks available to all students. Those are those little laptops. The first public school district in Massachusetts to offer telehealth as a means for students to access healthcare issues. After-school programming at all schools except McKay and Fitchburg High offers clubs, number of boys and girls athletic events. City is partnering with Mass School Building Authority, and I think this is what some of you have an interest in, obviously, is new construction of Crocker School. We're partnering with the School Building Authority. The price tag, like all schools are, is pretty significant, $60 million project. We're looking at an enrollment of 845 students, grades 1 through 5. Elementary school is currently at Crocker. The school district is planning on a redistricting prior to the new construction. South Street Elementary School will be converted to a pre-K to kindergarten. Rheingold Elementary and McKay would become grades 1 through 5, and Longview and Memorial would become schools for grades 6 through 8. Both are currently 5 through 8. We have, I'm looking for my numbers. I want to make sure I get them right. We have looked at reducing the dropout rate in Fitchburg in the high school. We've seen we're down to where our dropout rate is less than the state average. I think we're up around 90+%. Retention rate, I think the state average is around 88. So that's something we're very proud of. We were making significant advances with the school testing, the state testing, MCAS, and then COVID hit. Now we were looking for significant improvement in numbers coming up last spring, and again we kind of were stalled because of COVID. So, I don't want to forget this. We talked about the rail trail, but we're going to be the first in North Worcester County to have a playground for disabled individuals, particularly kids, of course, to be built adjacent to the traditional playground at Park Hill. It's going to be the Sam Pollock Memorial Playground. and grants and donations, it's totaling over $400,000. So that's going to be started in the spring of next year. It's be equipment that's accessible for wheelchairs and designed for children with disabilities. We're proud. We're very proud of that. So I know that's a lot of information, folks. I know there's probably some questions. By all means, please fire away.
I have a quick question for you, Mayor.
Yes.
In regards to the rail trail, I
Yeah.
know that, just speaking in clients that I currently work with that live in Fitchburg, they have some concerns about how safe it's going to be. We are well aware of the homeless population, how it's getting shifted.
Yeah.
Is there any precautions or measures being put in place to assure the safety once that project is complete?
Yeah, certainly. We've talked with the state about phone boxes being placed along the route, but even more so, it's going to be more of a commitment from the police departments, both cities, to really keep an eye on that trail. But you know what we're focused on is the fact that once it's up and running and people are there, that population, they don't want to be seen. They're not. They're either, and we've done all we can in the city of Fitchburg to address that population. We've got a terrific working relationship with our father's house and Kevin McLean. We're going to continue to do that. We understand some of the challenges that exist there, but again, we're prepared. We believe that once it becomes as usable as we hope it will be, that those folks wouldn't be inclined to be in that kind of a space.
Thank you.
I mean, all we can do is hope. And if we need to do something beyond that, we certainly will.
Why are they doing exterior roads, not main roads?
Oh,
That couldn't be Douglas Graves, but it says
No,
Douglas.
it's Giovanna. Sorry, I couldn't change it
All
quick
right,
enough.
Doug, what do you got?
So as a realtor, when we remodel homes, a major component to remodeling a home is redoing the floors of the house, make a huge change in making it look good and attractive.
Yeah.
Are the floors, the roads of our town
The floors of the.
addressed to remodel our town?
Yeah. Again, I have no easy answer there. We get 1.3 million from the state every year in Chapter 90 funds. That's for road paving, pothole filling, that kind of thing. My administration probably has appropriated more money than anybody has out of free cash. We add to that every year. If I were going to repair every road in the city of Fitchburg that needs repairing, we'd be talking about $75 million. It's just not feasible. But we keep up with it as much as we can, and we do the best we can. I understand the same. I ride on those roads myself. I know they're tough. And this is not, you're not going to take this well because it sounds like I'm copping out here, but we have geographics that we have to deal with as well that other communities don't. We're the city built on a river and mountains all over the place, and everything is granite. So water starts at one point and ends up at another. When we pave a road, there's usually groundwater under it. And what normally would last, a paved job would last 20 years, lasts 5. Again, not an excuse, but a fact. But we live with that and we work with it. I expended $400,000 to buy a skid steerer last year to do small sections of road. We utilize that on a regular basis. It's the second season coming up in the summer of 21 that will have that device. We do the best we can, but it's all about money. You know what it really comes down to as well? The state needs to kick in more, and the federal government needs to do something in getting off their duffs in Congress to start passing some kind of an infrastructure bill. They can ever get beyond whatever it is they're dealing with. So maybe not a great answer for you, but that's the truth.
I guess it is what it is, right?
Again, we'll do the best we can. We continue to. We're well aware of it. It's just.
I really, really think it is a priority in the town. It just makes a huge impact on how our town looks
So
and
if
functions.
you have some ideas,
How
by all
it
means.
feels to people coming in from other
Yeah,
towns
yeah.
and other areas. Some areas aren't safe, like in front of Coolidge Park. There's potholes and there's, you can't, there's no sidewalk. So you're either swerving into oncoming traffic, or do I hit the person?
Yeah, we got, were you the one that notified me about that street?
Probably.
Yeah, I sent
I'm
that.
sure there's many others that may.
Yeah, I think it was you. I sent it over to our DPW commissioner, and yeah, we'll do what we can on it. And we'll put it on the list for next year's paving. But when we pave roads, depending on the amount of the distance, you know, a million plus will get you about a mile of road. That's how much it costs. In particular, if you're talking about, you mentioned sidewalks, drainage that has to go into it. That's where the money comes. We just did Charles Street, did a terrific project up there. We also did Airport Road that was in badly in need of repair, and we did that this year as well. So, but again, you do a couple of those projects, and that's about it for money. And you don't bond road repairs, because as soon as you pay off the bond, you need to pave the road again. It's not a fiscally sound approach, but some people think maybe we should go that route. I would say probably not, but Tom. Thank you.
I'm muting myself. Trying to unmute. Is there any possibility of earmarking some of the funds that are coming in from all the dispensaries and cannabis grows and things of that nature?
Well, Tom, it's not, yeah, we can do that, but you're talking about a city with $130 million budget and so many needs. How do you prioritize those needs? That money goes into the general fund. It's not, the taxation dollars haven't really kicked in yet. All right, that's probably going to be for next year's budget. What we are receiving now are host agreements, and that is usually to the tune of $25,000. So we use that, we take that into the general fund. It has to be appropriated like anything else is. It would take the city council to say, okay, that money we're going to devote to paving roads. Possibility. I mean, that's something that they would do. I could encourage it as well. I'm not sure how much of an impact it would have.
Yeah, but like Giovanna says,
the roads I need to do are like $75 million. If I could pave them all. So you even cut that and a quarter of that, and it's still a significant amount of money.
Oh, yeah. No.
But you're right.
But
roads are terrible. I agree.
And it is, when you bring people in to look at a home.
Yeah, and you know what? My focus has been on some of the main roads coming in, the main roads, Water Street, Summer Street, places like that. Summer Street, we held back on because of the construction going on in Moran Square. I don't want heavy equipment rolling over a brand new paved road.
Right.
So we're waiting on that project to be completed, and then we're gonna do something about Summer Street going up by St. Bernard's High School. That's a tough section right there. Those areas, Lunenburg Street coming into town, those are the focus areas. I mean, if you go beyond that, I mean, we're talking some of the roads in the city that someone coming in to look at property, or they would never see them because they're so remote. But they're in tough shape too. Yeah.
Yep. Well, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, we do the best we can with what we've got. Yeah.
Yep.
Kurt, you had a raised hand?
I did. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the excellent information, Mayor DiNatale. A lot of good things happening in Fitchburg, which is exciting. I've got kind of a long-winded lead into my idea/question for you. But at first, I just wanted to commend you as we're seeing such incredible housing shortage here in Massachusetts right now. The projects that you mentioned, things like the Harper building, is really encouraging, seeing more housing coming into the marketplace for people to be able to take advantage of. So I wanted to first thank you for all your commitment to housing here in Massachusetts. The second one, which is a lead into the question, and I'm going way back now. So when we originally met in Fitchburg, this would have been about 20 years ago, and proposed the free parking downtown. There had been an idea floated because Fitchburg has a very unique setup with that long street, the access to the intermodal train station, to bring in a destination location, which could be a walking area, larger sidewalks, restaurants, pastry shops. But at that point, there was a lot of pushback from a lot of the local businesses because it would have disrupted the businesses that were working right on Main Street. With COVID-19 and what we're seeing is a transition away from the retail establishments, is there an opportunity to potentially create that type of destination for downtown Fitchburg, which would draw in both from the university, tie into the intermodal train station to bring populations in from other communities, and create a nice destination in the downtown area of Fitchburg in conjunction with the River Walkway?
Yeah, we're always, I should have my community development guy on, Tom Skorowski, who is just terrific with what he does in that respect. The parking situation, we just went through a parking study that was carried out by Fitchburg State University, thankfully. And this is one of the issues that COVID put the brakes on, that whole project. What do we do with meters? How do we manage the parking structures that we have? The parking decks, both of them on Main and Boulder, and make it more user-friendly, but also there's infrastructure needs that we need to address on Main Street itself with the buildings that are vacant and the fact that they've been vacant for so long that one of the features of those buildings is sprinkler systems. And right now it's not a friendly spot to go into a building, upgrade your sprinkler systems. What we're hoping to do is raise some revenue. This goes back to you, Tom, about revenue and where's it go. I would much, not that the roads aren't important, but I would much rather spend it on putting in larger lines that are required today into a building that says to a prospective property owner, you don't have to incur that $70,000. The city's going to take care of from the street to the building, and you take care of the rest after that. Maybe that'll spur and encourage people to come in and get into those businesses. But the parking has always been an issue. The meters, it's not a revenue generator. That's not the issue. But we need a comprehensive plan, and that's what that study is going to help to do. But we haven't had the opportunity to get everybody to sit down at the table and to map out exactly how that's going to look. We're not just going to go in with a pipe cutter and cut the meters out, and pull what I'm trying to think of the movie, Cool Hand Luke. I think that's what landed him in jail. He was cutting the meters off with a pipe cutter. But anyway, we need a lot more involvement with downtown. Certainly, there's so many challenges down there. And again, it's that aging stock, the aging buildings, and the challenges that they pose to a prospective property owner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, continuing with Kurt's conversation, same topic a number of times myself. Is there any way that elevators could be put into the second and third floors?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, people
Yeah.
living there, they're gonna walk downstairs and go to a coffee shop, a bakery,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
diner. People walking around generates interest, brings more
Yeah.
businesses. People coming to look at a property, they're gonna drive it on Main Street and say, geez, this is a damn ghost town now, but if we had involved, and I love the idea of the two-way traffic, but as far as I'm concerned, you can slow it down to one lane with some speed bumps, so I don't speed down Main Street the way I normally do.
Yeah.
You know, I go by all those vacant stores. Geez, I remember I used to barely be able to get across the street here in the old days.
Yeah, that's
You know?
that's part of the problem, right? But
You know what I mean?
that's the intent. Myself and Tom Skrosky took a walk with the former Secretary of Housing and Economic Development. At the time, it was Jay Ash, who again was a friend that I knew from the legislature. And that's what he told me, and this is 3 or 4 years ago. Our numbers aren't anywhere near what they should be in terms of housing. And that's affordable, market rate, workforce housing, all of those factors. We knew that from the beginning, and that's some of those focuses that you're seeing at what we're doing with the old bank lot with Bill Krikorian, who's heading that up, along with all the housing that I reported to you folks. There's going to be more housing going on behind the CVS on North Street. That's in the works as well. So the more of that we can get, the more people, that's what's going to generate retail and commercial interests by the fact that there are people that are going to need those services. The elevator thing, I mean, I don't know, Rick. I don't know how that works. I mean, that's a big cost. That's the other issue. From the state,
if the city could fund it and an attachment beyond the property, so someday they're going to sell it, the city gets reimbursed at a 1% interest for the 20 years, 30 years, whatever the hell it takes.
Yeah, that's a great. Look, why don't you send me that some of those ideas you've got about that, and I'll share that with my team. You can get me on the website, on the city website. Email me with that info. More than happy to see how that works, and see if we can make it happen.
I brought this up at a meeting with the city about a week ago. Fell on deaf ears then. I will definitely send you an email though.
Yeah, your connection is. I can hardly make out your face too. I mean, and you're breaking.
Another pretty face in the crowd.
There you go. A little better.
There you go.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, good talk with you. Thank you.
You bet.
We have anybody else with any questions? Anybody who works with multifamilies and folks who are trying to get them renovated in Fitchburg? If not, then I'll fall on the sword.
Okay. There's a sword? Oh.
With this one, it feels like it.
Okay.
I have a couple different properties I've been trying to sell. One over the course of the last 2 years, and it seems like one of the issues that we've been running into is there's so many hoops to jump through and so many rules, and the investors who want to renovate there's so many empty buildings in Fitchburg. You guys just did a giant auction of a bunch of abandoned buildings. The developers who are coming in trying to renovate these multifamilies to make them suitable housing are just always running into roadblocks in terms of special building permits. Now suddenly 3 families on up, before it was 4 families, have to have a sprinkler system, which is $60,000. If it already has parking, sometimes you're requiring us to rezone the parking that's there or redo it and do all this drainage. And it's really turning a lot of developers off because there's just so much red tape to get through. Do you have any suggestions on how they could better navigate that, or if there's going to be any, I don't want to say loosening of the restrictions, but maybe easing up so that we can get some of these abandoned, almost dilapidated properties either renovated or, something done with them that provides suitable housing? Yeah.
Well, what we've some of those issues you talk about, I'm not sure if they're centered in the city or if they're state requirements.
They're all specific to Fitchburg.
They are really.
A lot of them are, yes.
Okay. You know, all I can ask is that again, the best I can offer is that we can get everyone in the room, the individual that's interested and my building inspector and inspectors and whomever else. That's what we usually do when a project comes in. Get everybody in the room, the fire department, the health department, the building department, obviously, and try to walk the person through and make it as user-friendly as possible. I don't believe that the folks on in those jobs are just making it difficult just to make it difficult. I believe there's probably, there's legislation that exists that makes them have to do what they're doing. Now, if it's a city-specific thing, yeah, maybe we.
Oh, did we lose you? Is he frozen for everybody?
I think just
Yes.
probably momentarily frozen.
Uh-oh. You're frozen, Mayor.
Is that we can sit down and
Oh,
talk.
there you go.
We lost you.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute there.
Lost me or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm back. So, yeah, I mean, if there's you're running into problems like that, please call my office. Call me. Call me and I'll either get the information to you or get you in to talk about how we can get the yes.
Yeah, that would be great because I had one property sold.
I offer that to all of you on this call. If you're running into a problem, you don't like what you're being told, you don't understand what you're being told, let me know and we'll clarify it and we'll get you in. It may be through a Zoom thing, but you keep the numbers down, it can be in my office. I got a big enough conference room.
Is the building department hosting special permits meetings via Zoom?
I don't know if they are doing that, but they probably should.
Is hanging us up as, my guy spends $10,000 in plans and parking and drainage and all this stuff. We have the property sold and the people backed out because we couldn't get an appointment to get the special building permit.
Okay, I don't know if you need a Zoom for that, but
well, just to apply for it. Like City Hall was closed at the time.
Right, and most of that you can do online.
So they are reviewing them online.
Yeah, I understand. You said Zoom. I mean, you face-to-face Zoom meeting. I don't think we're doing that, but I know that you can apply for those permits online, and what they do by appointment, you come in and get the paperwork.
Okay.
And that's the other thing I should mention as well, folks. I'm in an 8,000 square foot building right now. By state regulations with the COVID thing going on, I can't have more than X number of people. I don't have the space to bring the public in. That's why we continue to stay closed. When we move to City Hall on Main Street, and I'm hoping the surge is kind of has been relieved a little bit. That's what I'm hoping for. But that's a 35,000 square foot building. So we're going to be making, provisions and measures. We're going to take measures to bring the public back into the building because it's going to be easier to control, but manage as well. That's why I can't do anything where I am. We're in the factory. It's not set up for a meeting with the public. But please, why don't you? I think my chief of staff, Pat Hare's on this call. He just sent out how to reach me. Please send me that information, and I will share that with the proper people, and we'll make sure that we're trying to be as user friendly as possible.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, as we're getting close to wrapping things up, kind of a last call for any questions or.
I'll throw one more out there. So Mayor DiNatale, what questions do you have for us? Anything, any information, data points you need, anything we can do to be helpful to the city of Fitchburg?
Yeah, I know, I know the challenges that we have. This is a hard scrabble. This is a blue collar community. It's always been a place that makes things, just similar to our sister city in Leominster. We have a lot to offer. We hope that you will partner with us in getting that word out there. If you're not sure what that word is, again, I can't say it enough. Contact my office. We think that the advances we've made and continue to make, the projects I cited to you, are really going to be a change agent for the city and for the region. And the one thing that I've learned as I've been the mayor, this is my January, I'll be starting my 6th year. The worst thing about this job is you have to be patient, and I'm not patient. But the projects that we talk about are always spoken about in years. I wish it were weeks and months, but it is what it is, and I've learned to live with it. But please, have enough confidence in this administration, in my administration, and the city of Fitchburg, that we're making the changes that we can make, that we feel we must make, and we're going to continue in that. And your help, and again, if you're not sure of where we are with something, please. People reach out to me about all sorts of things. You guys are realtors. You're important to me, certainly, just almost as important as the lending institutions, who I might add, we need as partners as well. We need people to be promoting the city of Fitchburg, the amenities that exist, the fact that we have a commuter rail. You can be living in Somerville and you're paying $2,000 a month for an apartment. You can be living in Fitchburg for half of that, maybe, for a mortgage payment, and you have a backyard with maybe a half an acre of land. I mean, this is what, and an arts and culture community, a pretty good school system when you consider the challenges that exist, and I think we've met head on. And in some of the advances, some of the projects I've talked about, not to belabor the point, but some of the changes that are being made to the city of Fitchburg, I would hope would encourage people to come on out here or to stay here, settle here. And if you can help with that.
Great question, Kurt. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
So
All right.
Am I done?
If I don't see anybody else jumping up and down, raising their hands,
Okay.
be careful, because we all know that
I can't tell you
in
enough, guys.
2020, you never know what's on the bottom half.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Call my office if you have any problems at all, please. Don't hesitate.
Mayor. Thank you.
Don't hesitate.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody, for
Happy
joining us.
Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yes, you
You
too. Merry
too.
Christmas.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.